All right, so have you heard about this DeepSeek thing? It's like everywhere right now.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of hard to miss. Stock market's going crazy. People are talking cybersecurity threats. And some are even saying, like, China's about to become the AI superpower.
Mm. It's a lot to take in, right? That's why we're doing a deep dive today. We got to figure out what DeepSeek actually is, why everyone's freaking out, and what it all means, for the average person.
Yeah.
We've got a ton of research lined up, so hopefully by the end of this, we'll have a better grip on it all.
Sounds like a plan.
So first things first, what is DeepSeek?
Well, they're a Chinese AI firm that popped up, like, out of nowhere last year, 2023, founded by this guy, Liang Wenfeng. He's a grad from Zhejiang University.
Okay, and what do they do?
They specialize in large language models. Think like ChatGPT, but with a twist.
AI that can, what, hold a conversation, write stuff?
Exactly. But DeepSeek's approach is different. They're all about efficiency and affordability. And get this, most of their models are open source.
Wait, open source, like anyone can just use their tech?
Yep. That's why they're shaking things up. So you've got OpenAI, they've been around since 2015, building this whole empire of AI stuff. GPT-4001, all those models. But they keep it all under wraps, proprietary. DeepSeek comes along with their DeepSeek R1, their flagship model, and it's like they're saying, here you go, world, have fun. Total game changer.
Okay, I'm starting to see why people are paying attention.
Yeah.
But how does this DeepSeek R1 compare to, say, OpenAI's O1, like performance-wise?
Surprisingly similar, actually. But here's the real shocker. DeepSeek R1 is way cheaper to use.
Okay, how much cheaper are we talking? Give me some numbers.
So for API access, just to give you an idea, for every million tokens you input, DeepSeek charges 55 cents. OpenAI, they're asking for $15.
Whoa.
And for output, DeepSeek's at 2.1 per million tokens, while OpenAI wants a whopping $60.
That's a massive difference. Suddenly this powerful AI stuff is like within reach for way more people. But how are they doing this? What's the secret sauce behind DeepSeek R1?
It's a bunch of clever techniques, really. They use reinforcement learning, which is kind of like training a dog, but instead of fetch, you're teaching an AI to understand and generate human language.
So it learns by doing, trial and error.
Exactly. They also do this thing called reward engineering. It's all about setting up the right incentives to guide the AI's learning process, making sure it focuses on the right stuff.
Interesting. So they're training it like an athlete, pushing it to be the best.
Yeah.
But what about the tech itself? How are they making it so efficient?
Well, they use a technique called distillation. Imagine taking a massive encyclopedia and boiling it down to a super concise study guide. That's what they're doing with their AI models, making them smaller and faster without sacrificing power.
So it's not just about building bigger AI, it's about making it smarter and leaner.
Right on. And then there's this other thing, emergent behavior networks. This is where it gets a bit mind-blowing. They create these networks where complex reasoning patterns just emerge. It's like the AI is coming up with its own problem-solving strategies.
Whoa, the AI is thinking for itself. That's kind of freaky, but also amazing.
It is. And the craziest part is they've done all this without the same fancy hardware that U.S. companies have access to because of those export restrictions. It's like building a rocket ship with duct tape and paper clips.
Okay, now I'm really impressed. But let's be honest, not everyone's happy about DeepSeek's success. There's definitely some anxiety, especially here in the US. Why are people worried?
Well, some see DeepSeek's low cost and open source approach as a threat to the big U.S. tech companies, the ones that have poured billions into AI development.
Yeah, I can see how that would ruffle some feathers. It's like DeepSeek is saying, we can do it better, faster, cheaper, and we're sharing it with everyone.
Exactly. And the open source thing is a big deal. If anyone can use and adapt their models, it throws a wrench in the whole selling AI as a service model, which is how a lot of these companies make their money.
The DeepSeek is changing the whole game.
And then there's the whole geopolitical thing. DeepSeek's success is being seen as a sign that China is catching up in the AI race, maybe even pulling ahead. Remember that Sputnik moment comment by Mark Andreessen?
Oh, yeah. He was basically saying this is a wake-up call.
Exactly. So you've got economic concerns, industry disruption, and a good old-fashioned tech rivalry all rolled into one.
It's a lot to unpack. But have there also been some, like, pushback against DeepSeek? Something about bans and security issues?
Oh, yeah, tons of it. Several countries and organizations have banned DeepSeek, citing all sorts of worries: ethics, privacy, security, the possibility of data leaking to the Chinese government, you name it.
Can you give us some examples of who's banned them?
Sure. Australian government agencies, India's central government, Italy, even NASA. Here in the U.S., Congress, the Navy, the Pentagon, they've all banned DeepSeek. And it's not just governments either. South Korea's industry ministry, Taiwan's government, even the state of Texas has gotten in on the action.
Wow, it's like DeepSeek is walking a tightrope between innovation and, like, international controversy.
Totally. And to add to the drama, there have been a couple of recent incidents that have really raised eyebrows.
You mean that cyber attack? Right after their AI assistant hit #1 on the Apple App Store, they got hit. The timing seemed a little too perfect, if you ask me.
Definitely raised some suspicions. And then there was that data exposure incident.
Right. Wiz Research found a flaw that exposed a bunch of sensitive stuff. Chat histories, API keys. Makes you wonder how secure all this really is.
Data breaches happen, even to the best. But yeah, with all the worries about data going back to China, it adds another layer of concern. And then things got even weirder.
Oh, do tell.
Remember that system prompt we talked about? It's like the AI's core programming, the instructions that determine how it behaves?
Right, like it's rulebook.
Well, someone managed to jailbreak DeepSeek and expose the entire system prompt.
No way.
It's a huge deal because it gives us a peek behind the curtain, you know? We can see exactly how they designed their AI to think.
This is getting juicy. All right, we're going to dive deeper into that right after. We're not taking a break. We're just going to keep this deep dive rolling. Stick with us.
This jailbreak thing, it's like huge in the AI world. Imagine finding the source code for like some top secret program. Now we can see exactly how DeepSeek built their AI.
So what did this exposed system prompt tell us? Anything interesting?
Well, one of the big things it revealed was how DeepSeek views OpenAI. The prompt actually tells their AI to avoid imitating or being inspired by OpenAI's models.
So they're not just competitors, there's some real rivalry there.
The wording's pretty strong. It tells the AI to diverge from OpenAI's approach, to seek novel and innovative solutions. It's like they're going out of their way to be different.
Like they're saying, we're not following in anyone's footsteps, we're doing our own thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that independent streak, it's there in their open source approach too. They're not trying to hoard their tech. It's out there for anyone to use, to build on. It's a totally different philosophy from OpenAI's more, controlled way of doing things.
This whole situation feels like a turning point for AI. We've got these two powerhouses, DeepSeek and OpenAI, each forging their own path. And the rest of the world is just watching, trying to figure out what it means.
It's definitely a time of change and uncertainty. On one hand, AI has this incredible potential, right, to revolutionize healthcare, education, how we work, everything. But then there's that other side, the what if it all goes wrong side.
Yeah, job losses, ethical dilemmas, AI getting into the wrong hands, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And the geopolitical angle, it's huge. DeepSeek's rise is adding fuel to the US-China tech rivalry. It's becoming this race for AI dominance, and the stakes are incredibly high.
I think a lot of people listening are probably feeling a bit overwhelmed right now. All this talk of global rivalries and the future of humanity, it's a lot to process. What would you say to someone who's trying to wrap their head around all this?
First of all, don't panic. It's easy to get swept up in the hype. But AI is still in its early stages. We have time to figure things out, to steer it in the right direction.
So stay calm and carry on.
Pretty much. But also, stay informed, keep up with the news, read articles, talk to people about the ethical side of AI, the social impact. The more we understand, the better decisions we can make.
Knowledge is power, right?
Exactly. And don't be afraid to, get your hands dirty. There are so many AI tools out there, many of them free or very affordable. Play around with them, see what they can do. Start thinking about how AI could be used in your own life, your work.
That's a good point. It's easy to feel powerless in the face of something as big and complex as AI. But taking action, even small steps, can make a difference.
Absolutely. The future of AI isn't some predetermined thing. We're creating it right now through our choices and actions.
This deep dive into DeepSeek has been really eye-opening. It makes you realize how quickly AI is evolving and how important it is to stay engaged, to be part of the conversation.
I think one of the biggest takeaways is that DeepSeek is more than just a company or a technology. It's a symbol of how much the world is changing and how crucial it is to be adaptable.
You're right. This isn't just about China versus the US or who has the best AI. It's about how we, as a global society, navigate this new era of intelligent machines.
And how we make sure AI is used for good, not for harm.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. DeepSeek's tech, the bans, the security issues, the rivalry with OpenAI. But if we step back, what's the bigger picture here?
I think we're witnessing a power shift in the tech world. DeepSeek is like a catalyst. Their whole approach, the efficiency, the low costs, open access, it's disrupting everything. It's like they threw a grenade into the AI industry and all bets are off.
So it's not just about China versus the US anymore.
It's way bigger than that. DeepSeek has started a global conversation. Who controls AI? How's it developed? Who benefits? And that open source movement is getting serious momentum. We might be heading towards a future where AI is more collaborative, less centralized.
It's like DeepSeek is forcing everyone to rethink their assumptions about AI.
Exactly. The old way of doing things, with a few big companies holding all the cards, it's being challenged. And that's a good thing. Competition breeds innovation, and in AI, that innovation could benefit everyone.
Okay, so let's make this real for our listeners. They're hearing all this about DeepSeek. What do they need to know? What are the key takeaways?
First, don't freak out. Yeah, AI is a big deal, but we're still in the early stages. We have time to shape how it develops.
Okay, what else?
Stay informed. AI is changing rapidly, so keep up with the news, read about it, talk about the ethical and social implications. The more we know, the better decisions we can make.
And finally,
Don't be afraid to experiment. AI tools are becoming more accessible all the time. There are tons of free and low-cost options out there. Play around with them, see what they can do. Think about how you could use AI in your own life.
those are great points. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, but knowledge and action, that's what empowers us.
Absolutely. The future of AI, it's not happening to us. We're creating it with every choice we make. So let's make sure we're creating a future we want to live in.
So DeepSeek, what's next for them? Can they keep this up? Or will those bans and security issues catch up with them?
That's the big question, isn't it? They've surprised us so far. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept pushing boundaries, releasing new models, finding new ways to make AI accessible. They're definitely shaking things up.
Do you think they can overcome all the obstacles?
Honestly, it's hard to say. They're facing some real challenges, but they've also shown that they're resilient, adaptable, they're not afraid of taking risks, and they have a clear vision. This is definitely a story we'll be watching closely.
This feels like just the beginning of something huge.
It is. We're on the cusp of a new era, one where AI is going to play a bigger and bigger role in our lives. The choices we make now will shape that future. It's both exciting and, yeah, a little bit scary.
It's a lot of responsibility, but it's also an amazing opportunity. If we do this right, if we approach AI with wisdom and foresight, we can use it to make the world a better place.
I agree. It's a future worth fighting for.
On that note, we'll leave you with something to think about. What if DeepSeek is just the tip of the iceberg? What other surprises does the world of AI have in store for us? Keep your minds open, stay curious, and keep exploring this incredible world of artificial intelligence. So we've really gone deep on DeepSeek, huh? Their tech, the global impact, the bans, that whole system prompt thing. Wild stuff. But taking a step back, what does it all mean? What's the big takeaway here?
Well, I think what we're seeing is a major, like a fundamental shift in the world of AI. DeepSeek, they're a real disruptor. Their focus on efficiency, affordability, and open access, it's challenging the status quo, shaking up the whole industry.
So it's not just like China versus the US in some tech race. It's something bigger.
Right. DeepSeek's arrival has sparked a global conversation about AI. Who controls it, who benefits, how it should be developed. And the open source movement, it's gaining serious traction. Imagine a future where AI isn't locked away in some tech giant's vault, but is out in the open, constantly evolving through collaboration.
It's like DeepSeek is saying, hey, everyone, come on in. Let's build the future of AI together.
Exactly. They're breaking down barriers. The old way of doing things where a few powerful companies hold all the cards, it's being challenged. And that's a good thing. Competition drives innovation, and in AI, that innovation could benefit everyone.
Okay, so let's bring this home for our listeners. What are the key things they should take away from all this DeepSeek talk?
First off, don't panic. AI is a big deal, no doubt, but we're still in the early stages. We have time to figure things out, to guide how it develops.
Deep breaths. Got it. What else?
Stay informed. The AI landscape is changing so fast. Follow the news, read articles, talk to people about the ethical implications, the social impact. The more we understand, the better choices we can make as individuals and as a society.
All right, stay curious, stay informed. Anything else?
Don't just be a spectator, get involved. There are so many AI tools out there, a lot of them free or really cheap. Play around with them, see what they can do. Start thinking about how you might use AI in your own life, your work, whatever. The more familiar we are with it, the less scary it becomes.
I like that. Don't be afraid to dive in and experiment. Sometimes when faced with something as big as AI, it's easy to feel helpless. but taking action, even small steps, can make a difference.
Absolutely. The future of AI isn't some predetermined thing. We're shaping it right now. Every choice we make, every action we take, it all contributes to what AI will become.
So DeepSeek, what's next? Can they keep riding this wave of success, or will those bans and the security issues catch up to them?
Hard to say for sure. They've certainly surprised us before. I wouldn't be shocked if they kept pushing the boundaries, releasing even more innovative models, finding new ways to make AI accessible.
Do you think they can overcome the challenges they're facing?
Well, they definitely have their work cut out for them. But they've also shown they're resilient, adaptable, and they're not afraid to take risks. Plus, they have a clear vision for the future of AI. It's a story that's just beginning to unfold.
Well, we've certainly covered a lot of ground today. DeepSeek's tech, the global impact, the controversies, the rivalry with OpenAI. It's been a fascinating journey. Any final thoughts for our listeners as they wrap their heads around all of this?
I think DeepSeek's story reminds us that the world is changing at an incredible pace. We need to be adaptable, informed, and engaged if we want to navigate this new landscape. AI is no longer something out of science fiction. It's here, it's evolving fast, and it's going to impact all our lives.
This deep dive has been amazing. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
My pleasure. It's definitely an exciting time to be involved in AI.
And for all of you listening out there, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, don't be afraid to dive into the world of AI yourselves. The future is in our hands.